There are some achievements in history that people will look back upon ages from now and be awestruck at what had occurred. This is not one of those moments. Today we're piling Goomba on top of Goomba until we reach outer space in Super Mario 3D World, and then blowing them all up. So if you enjoy these weird gaming science experiments that I kind of do on this channel, and you aren't subscribed yet, why don't you subscribe right now? It helps me grow as a creator, but also you'll be able to see these videos as soon as they come out. And we all know that YouTube's not always the best when it comes to showing you what you actually want to watch. So if you want to subscribe now, I'd greatly appreciate it. If not, that's totally fine too. But let's get to the experiment. So earlier this year, we did an exercise in Super Mario 3D Land where we tried to eliminate as many Goombas as possible with a single ground pound. Now, if I'm being honest, that exercise in itself was a bit flawed. You see, Super Mario 3D Land has a max cap when it comes to the number of Goombas that can be stacked. If you watched that video, you'll know that the max cap in 3D Land is 10 Goombas. So to get around that, I created stacks and stacks of Goombas and put them all in the same place. But even this was flawed, because trying to ground pound that many enemies at once caused the game to max out Mario's interaction limit. So he'd only be able to defeat a set amount of Goombas at a time before getting pushed away. But 3D World is an entirely different beast. Honestly, I was super surprised at how many Goombas I could stack on top of each other. The last game topped out at 10, so I figured I'd see if 50 would work. And it did. Rinse and repeat, and to my surprise, the maximum Goombas I was able to spawn on a single stack was 475 Goombas. And this stack blew through the heavens and into outer space. I'm honestly blown away. Standing at the bottom of the stack and looking up is incredible. It looks like a ladder to the great beyond. But stacking this number of Goombas is obviously absurd and all, but what's more impressive is eliminating them. However, there are some problems with this. There is no way to actually determine how tall the tower is other than guess and check, because the game loads in a single object that generates a tower once the game runs. But that has another issue. We can't see anything if we spawn our character up at the top of the tower. The camera in the game completely locks, and even if we could get our view up here, what you're going to see would be a glitchy mess. When the camera is this high in the sky, the game stops refreshing frames for the background. So each frame stacks on top of each other, causing this glitched, smeared mess. So we need to keep the camera and our character in a region near the Goombas, so that the game will properly render what we're seeing. So if we can't kill these Goombas from the top, is there a way to kill them from the bottom? Well, there's issues with that too. Toppling this tower is not an easy task. So let's talk about nuking this bad boy. You could utilize stars or the white Tanuki suit to just stand below the stack as it collapses into nothingness. But this process is super long and honestly just eliminates the stack as fast as it can fall. Don't get me wrong, Goombas die really fast this way, but it'll take minutes to get through this tower. So let's try actually blowing the stack up. Similar to what I mentioned before, destroying Goombas at the bottom with like the cannon mask only makes additional Goombas fall down. But Goomba stacks can take damage anywhere along the stack, meaning if you blow up the middle, those Goombas will be defeated and others will fall. So we don't have to only attack this from the bottom. And I had a pretty neat idea that involved POW blocks. So when a POW block is hit in Super Mario 3D World, or really any Mario game, it typically sends out a screen-sized blast relative to the POW block's position, and clears any enemy or object on screen. So if a single POW block next to the stack was hit, it eliminates all the Goombas within a set distance of the block. Then the stack would fall back down. However, POW blocks can also activate other POW blocks. So what if we built a giant POW block tower next to this stack of Goombas? Each POW block would clear as many Goombas within its range as it could, and then, in turn, hit the next POW block in line instantaneously. The result? A giant explosion rocketing towards the heavens, eliminating all the Goombas along the way. So I rigged all the bombs and was ready to pull the trigger, and when I did, I realized I had made a mistake. So it was glorious watching all these Goombas light up. It's incredible just how many were being defeated, but I miscalculated one small detail. All the Goombas are loaded in because the Goomba on the ground is what anchors them. But the POW blocks unload if they are not in the camera's view, or if they are too far away. So what I had was a POW block tower that only exploded up to a certain point. Honestly, it only cleared away about half the stack. So to solve this, I need to rig the explosions and shoot the camera up into the sky, chasing the explosions as they take place. This will pull the POW blocks into the loading zone so they can load in and explode as the chain reaction occurs. So with a stack of POW blocks nearly as tall as the enormous stack of Goombas, we set off the chain reaction explosion again. And like dominoes, the Goombas explode one after another, converting to a mess of green points as Luigi further extends his life force. And after the last power block had fallen, I was confused, because a giant pile of Goombas fell from the sky, spearing Luigi to the ground, killing him immediately. So what happened? Well, my first theory was that perhaps there were more Goombas than I could actually see on the screen. And as other Goombas were killed, additional Goombas appeared on the top of the stack. But that still wouldn't make a whole lot of sense, since it would be weird to have an edge case where something like this would occur. So as I went back and watched my footage, everything became clear. All the Goombas should have been wiped out, but they weren't because of one physics exploit. So when the Goomba tower is struck by the power block, a handful of soldiers are defeated. And in order to react to this, the remaining Goombas on top of the newly defeated Goombas actually initiate a small hop. So they jump slightly as the defeated Goombas fly out and explode. Multiply this small hop times the entirety of this tower, and each Goomba that is killed is actually saving a Goomba's life on top by altering the vertical position of the tower. The sheer amount of explosions lift the Goomba tower off the ground like a rocket ship and force it higher and higher into the sky. So by the time every bomb has gone off, hundreds of Goombas are saved by this process. And a stack of 100 Goombas falling at terminal velocity is enough to obliterate Luigi completely. And that's Goomba science in a nutshell. So we'd have to double our power block tower height in order to compensate for the uplift of the Goomba tower. And with that, we'd be able to defeat all these Goombas with one attack. Now, be sure to take notes, everyone. This will surely be on the test next week. If you enjoyed this Mario science spectacle, subscribe right now, and I'll see you all in my next video real soon. Cheers!